Sup. Early in the morning for me. Not real early, but fairly early. I'm still drinking my morning coffee, my latte. I've got a machine in there. I brought a Breville. I bought it like 3 years ago because I go to Starbucks a lot, and I get the lattes there. This started years ago when we were riding motorcycles all the time, and I really liked the taste of it and the flavor of it and all that. So when we came down here, what do I know about making them, right? But I was reading up on them and just watched a lot of videos about them, and I didn't realize the machines cost as much as they do. And I got mine, I forget what it was. It was one of them Black Friday special event things, and I got it on the internet. I bought it on Amazon. They sent it to me, and I had to learn how to use it. And with trial and error, because if you know anything about these special machines that you can make cappuccinos, lattes, flat whites, all these different kind of coffee drinks, there's a process of getting everything set right. The grind size, on your strainer. Anyway, it's a process. I got mine down pat for me. Sue doesn't drink these. Once in a great while she'll ask me to make her one, and I will. But she, generally speaking, don't make these. Her complaint is it takes up counter space, and she doesn't like that. But hey, I use this thing a couple times a day, literally every day. So I'm getting more than my money's worth. I'm going to probably start posting some of these question and answer things maybe a couple times a week now, because this being snowbird season, I'm starting to get a lot of questions about interesting things that, I understand. One question was, does all of our kids come down for Thanksgiving, or do we travel north for the holidays? Well, the answer to that is yes. Both. That's another message right there. Sometimes, last year we went up north for Christmas. Sue and I did, and we stayed at our son and daughter-in-law's house. They always make room for us. And we were there for, I don't know, a week, something like that maybe. And so we celebrated Christmas up there with them. And then, of course, on our way home, we stopped at friend's house, other relatives' house, and on our way home. So we're up there for a couple weeks at a time, then we come back down here. I don't fly generally during the holidays because the airport traffic down here, another message, the airports down here are horrendous, as you can imagine. Everybody in the country's flying somewhere around the holidays. And of course, coming down to Florida is something a lot of people do. So I'm back now. I had to cut that off. I forget where I was at. I think I was talking about Thanksgiving and going north. But anyway, yeah, we went north. It takes us a couple weeks. The year before that, we did not go north. And our kids was supposed to come down here for Christmas, but they couldn't make it. Job changes. One of them, like literally, the week of Christmas, she got laid off of her job and told her that it would probably be a permanent layoff. And then they offered her some kind of a severance pay and stuff, and that pretty much told you right there, that was it. And so they decided not to come down because of the money and expense and whatever. And I understand that, even though my mind said, I'll pay for the gas because they're staying here free. But anyway, but 3 years ago, they did come down with the kids, and our Christmas gift to them was day passes for everybody to go to Disney World. And so I got them out of here. After a couple of days with the grandkids running around, I'm not used to that. I'll just tell you. So that gave me a day's rest. But other than that, if you're considering going north, and that's what you're really wanting to know, is going north for the holidays. If you want to fly, it's not a big deal really. It's the airport thing. It's the traffic thing. I just can't stand traffic anymore. I just don't like it. That's why I don't go to the squares. There's too many people down there. You can't get around. You can't find a place to park, and so I just don't go. But and the airport's the same way. It's just full of people. They're all standing around pushing, shoving, and I just don't like it. And I don't go to the holiday or the amusement parks for the same reason. You go in, especially around Christmas time, oh my God, forget it. I don't know how people stand it. I really don't. It's push, shove, stand in line for 2 hours to ride one ride. Are you nuts? I wouldn't stand in line for 2 hours to go eat. That's just nuts to me that people do that. But anyway, shuttle service around here to get you in and out of airports is pretty simple. They take you to the Orlando airport, or they'll take you, one shuttle service I know of will take you to the Sanford Orlando airport, which is where I go all the time. Sue goes to the Orlando airport once in a while when she flies, but when I go, it's always Sanford Orlando because I like to fly direct to either Indianapolis or Fort Wayne. And as far as I know, there's only one airline that will fly direct to Fort Wayne, and that's the one that everybody complains about, but I have never had a problem with them. Allegiant. Everybody says, oh, Allegiant, oh, they're unsafe, oh, they're this, oh, they're that. I don't know. Only thing I can tell you is the tickets that I buy is fair, more than fair priced, mostly. If it says it's leaving at 7 o'clock, almost every time it's leaving at 7 o'clock. If it says it arrives at midnight, it arrives at midnight. It's direct, it's quick, and it's easy. The downside to Allegiant, I think, is because they fly older aircraft, and so they're not as quiet inside, I don't think. Not that I'm a big time flyer, but they don't seem to be as quiet. Nothing is really included with your ticket. When she comes down the aisle and wants to know if you'd like to have, a drink or something, they don't even take cash. In America, can you imagine? We don't take cash. I think I can understand why. Theft, thievery, but it's all credit card. That's it. If you want a Coke, you better give them a credit card because your $2 Coke, they will not take $2 cash. And that's kind of a bummer, but oh well, I don't worry about it. Nothing I can do about it anyway, right? Okay, so anyway, our Thanksgiving dinner here this year, we did not go up for the holidays, and I'm not going up for Christmas either. So what we do, and we have a neighbor, I think, that spearheaded this whole thing, Nancy, that she gets together with everybody to find out who's going to be and who ain't going to be, and what she calls a Thanksgiving dinner for the orphans. We're the orphans. So she got a room reserved over at our rec center, and that's, anybody who lives here, you can do that, but you got to do it quick. So anyway, we got the room reserved for, I think it was 2 hours, and they give you a time, and we got our time like at 5 o'clock, I think, 5 to 7. So it's basically a neighborhood pitch-in that I guess she tells everybody, I don't know how it works, but anyway, so many people bring desserts, some people bring meats, some people bring whatever it is, a side. I don't know how all this is divvied up. So my wife brought her famous homemade chicken and noodles, and it's not a soup. It's I don't know how you describe what it is, but all I know is good. And I put it on top of my mashed potatoes. So that's how we celebrate Thanksgiving. And after we eat our dinner and all this and that, you get there early and you do a lot of talking, catching up, people you haven't seen for a while. You bring your own drink, whatever it may be. They usually have iced tea and coffee and things there. The rec center provides, I think, most of that. But, if you want beer, you want wine, whatever you want to do, you bring your own drink. And, you grab a table. The tables are numbered. So the number 1 table will generally go up to the buffet line first, and then number 2, number 3. Wouldn't you know it, this year, we got number 8. I think we were the last table to go up there. I hate that. Because once again, by the time you dish up and sit down, the food's getting cold. I don't like that. So anyway, they have a microwave in the kitchen. The truth of it is, I forgot. If I'd have remembered that microwave was in there, I'd have took my whole plate in there and I'd have warmed it up. But I just forgot. Anyway, it was good. The food was good. Company was good. Everything was fine. I didn't talk to a heck of a lot of people in there because we've had so many people in our neighborhood now sell for one reason or another and move out, and new people have moved in, that I sat there talking to Tom, and I told Tom, I said, I don't know half the people in this room. I don't recognize them at all. So that's kind of a bummer. And that could lead me to a whole new video about friendships in the villages and my perspective of it. It might be an eye-opener to some. It may upset some. I don't know. But my perspective of what I see and how I see making friends in the villages. So, hope that helps out with our Thanksgiving dinner. And our Christmas, I think they do some of the same. They get together, have a Christmas party, exchange gifts. Usually it's a gag gift or something like that. I don't know what we're doing this year. Sue hasn't told me yet. Somebody else asked me a question about brick versus stick-built homes. Let me see if I can find that. I'm getting messages all the time, and it's hard to keep up. Here we go. I think this is it. Dave and Tina, I'll mess this name up. Aaron's. Says, my wife and I find your videos to be very informative and enjoy watching them. My question for you is if you have any insight as to the pros and cons of stick-built construction versus concrete block construction in the villages. My concerns with wood frame walls in Florida are the high humidity, black mold. Nah, you're not going to have that problem with stick-built. Black mold doesn't have anything to do with the lumber. Presence of termites, I believe that's overstated about termite things. I've been coming in and out of the villages for close to 25 years. I have talked to literally thousands of people when I used to go to the squares at night and talk to this person, that person. And this is before I bought my first house. And since I bought my first house, I talked to all my neighbors. And since I've been here, I've talked to a lot of people. And I have one question usually when it comes to this termite thing. I asked them a question. I said, how long have you lived in, I've talked to people who've lived here for 20 years. And I said, how long have you lived here? Well, I've been here 15 years. That's what, something like that. I said, all the time you've been here, have you ever known anybody that's actually had a termite infestation in their house, where they've had to call a company to come in and, get rid of the termites? The answer to that question is always no. Never knew anybody. I'm sorry, I hear about this termite thing all the time, and I don't know anybody that's ever had a termite problem here in the villages area anyway. Other areas of Florida, maybe, I don't know. Not to say it can't happen here. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm just telling you, I don't know anybody that's ever had that termite problem. And when you talk to a company about basically treating your home for termites, they have that, but it's called insect infiltration system or something. And they just go around your house with this simple spray, really. And they just kind of spray around the edge of your house in the flower beds. And then they may go around toward the top up here where the air circulation system is. It goes into the attic, up around the soffit. And they may go around and they spray up in that area, all the way around the house. They come in your house with a little flashlight and they walk really quick. In your house, they look, up around the ceiling and they look on the floor and that kind of thing. I'm not even sure if they're paying attention to what they're doing. They're just trying to make it look good, I guess. And then that's it. And they'll come back once or twice a year and spray. And here's the biggest complaint when it comes to insects around here. Ants. I hear it all the time. So I had to call my termite guy, the termite guy. Well, what's going on? We've seen some ants in the garage. And so the guy will come out and he'll kind of spray around the garage for ants. And so that seems to be the biggest insect problem that I hear about is ants. So anyway, the advantages and disadvantages, I'll start with stick built, the things that I know in District 10 and the way it was done. I've said this 100 times in other videos. I'm going to say it again. From one district to another, sometimes rules and things change all the time. I can't keep up with all the different building codes and the different ways of doing things. One is this. The stick-built homes, which is what I've got, this is my second one, stick-built home. I have no problem with it. Because when they built my home, I saw the lumber, I asked questions. Some of the lumber came color-coded. Some of them were, the wood was painted pink. And some of the wood, about 4 feet up, was this dark green color. And then if it was 8 foot long, the rest of the 4 feet looked normal. I asked questions about it. The pink was a fire retardant that apparently was put in this house. I don't know that they all come that way. And I don't know if the contractor chooses that or what the deal is. I don't know. But the green 2x4s that about 4 feet up was green, and then the rest of the 4 feet it was like normal. It was pressure treated insect retardant. And he said that keeps the termites and other infiltration of bugs from entering the wood. And of course, so on a cement slab, they have to put that, I don't know what you call that, but that tube of tin or whatever that goes around that sits on the concrete. There's a rubber thing that kind of went around. Then that wood set on top of that, and then the wall frames was on top of that. And all of that was this high pressure treated insect infiltration retardant stuff. And he says that you shouldn't have any problem with termites getting inside this wood. He said it's guaranteed. I think my house was guaranteed for 10 years. And then after that, I guess you're on your own. So, and I have a guy come out and inspect once in a while because he wants a contract with me. So I take advantage of the free inspection. Okay, I said it. And no, they don't have any signs. I usually spray around my house myself. I go to Lowe's or someplace and get that stuff. And I usually mix it up really strong. I don't do it the way the bottle says to do it because that industrial stuff that they come out here with, I'm sure isn't like that stuff you buy at Lowe's. So if it says use 3 tablespoons for 6 gallons of water, I dump half a bottle in there. I mean, when you spray this stuff around my house, you can smell it. And I can tell you that the 5 years I've lived here, other than an ant once in a while, I have never seen a termite or anything. Now, insects. The only insect that I know that may or may not be a problem, I don't know. They're here, they're not going to go anywhere. But in your mulch around your house in the flower beds, I don't care what kind of mulch you got, underneath that mulch, it stays cool and damp. Cockroaches, you're going to have them. It's just part of the Florida life. You can spray your flower beds and it keeps them at bay. But here's what I say about all that spraying. These lizards, these geckos they have around here, does a marvelous job in keeping the average home invading type insect out of your house. And when you spray and spray and spray, you're killing all the food that the lizard itself has to live on, or the gecko, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure somebody will send a comment. No matter what you say, somebody's always picking out one little thing and they got to make a comment about it. But the geckos do a marvelous job. So I don't spray that much. And when I do spray for termites, I spray around the edge of the house. I don't spray the whole flower bed. I don't even try to kill the cockroaches. I don't. And I have seen 1 or 2 When I had to dig up a plant to move it or whatever, like when my pipe broke out front and I had to dig that plant up, and when I scraped all the mulch back, then yeah, I did. I seen a little cockroach in there. I didn't worry about it because I have seen these little lizards, and some of these little lizards get to be pretty good size if they're fed well. And I've seen them out there, and I've seen them grab those little cockroaches and eat them. So I pretty much encourage the lizards to hang around my house. I don't try to get rid of them. A lot of people try to get rid of them. They hate them, and I don't get it. I just don't understand their philosophy. The lizard doesn't bother you. They don't tear nothing up. They're there, but they're there doing a job. And so I'm saying encourage the little geckos to live around your house, and don't kill all their food supply, because all they're going to do is go to your neighbor's house where there's food. And your neighbor's isn't going to be spraying anything. He isn't going to be spending the money to spray anything, and he isn't going to have the insect problem. That's my theory. Take it for what it's worth. Now, the advantages of a concrete building compared to a vinyl building. There's pros and cons to both. Let me start with my vinyl side. My vinyl side, the advantage to me is cost. One is the house is cheaper to buy. You buy the same house. Each model of home comes two ways. They changed the name of that model, but it's the same floor plan. Mine's a, the hell am I? I'm a wisteria home. The concrete side of a wisteria home is a jasmine. Same home, same floor plan, but the jasmine's concrete, the wisteria is stick built. You know, it's a money issue there. You have to use whatever is good for you. So, you know, you can get a jasmine. It'll cost you another $10,000 more than, say, a wisteria. Maybe a little bit more, depending where it's at. But here it'd been about $10,000 more. The jasmine comes, you can get a jasmine two ways, with or without a golf cart garage. Wisteria's the same way. You can get it with or without a golf cart garage. I didn't get a golf cart garage. I've done a video about how that happened, but anyway. The way I see it is the wisteria advantage is twice a year for like $60. I got a company that comes in here every 6 months, and they wash my house. I don't use a high pressure system. I don't like those at all. I used them a couple of times at my other house, and I had problems with it. So the guy that will come to your house with a trailer and a Honda high pressure washer from Home Depot, I don't do those guys at all. That's just me. I won't use them. But the company I use is called No Pressure House Wash, and I love it. And they do me a wonderful job. They have for years, and it costs me $60 every time they do it. And then when they get done, my house looks brand spanking new again. I mean, gutters and all, windows and all. It doesn't leave a spot nowhere the way they do it. It's like a spotless car wash. And I just happened to notice, I seen it move. I got a gecko in my lanai again. Damn it, I'll tell you what, keeping them things out of here. I don't want to kill it, but I want it out of here. So anyway, I just seen him. I know where he's at. So anyway, stucco home. Nothing wrong with them. The advantage to a stucco home, I think, this is just my personal opinion from what I've seen. Other people will make comments below about what they think or don't think. Is I think they cool down in a hot summer with air conditioners better. Not that I've had a problem. I haven't had a problem. But the stucco home's thicker. The block walls, I think, holds the coolness better. And I also think inside a stucco home, they're quieter. They keep the outside noise out better than a stick-built home, even though I haven't had that problem because almost everybody around me is a snowbird. So 9 months out of the year, I don't have any neighbors. Maybe that's why I don't really notice any noise. That's just something to think about. The disadvantages to a vinyl home is that's one, I think. It doesn't cool down as good as a stucco home. Once again, not that I've had a problem, I haven't. But I do think a stucco home cools down a little better. They're a little quieter. And the disadvantages, though, would probably be noise, I suppose. Would probably be, I don't know. I don't have that many disadvantages to talk about. I got the same windows. that any other house would have. Almost all the window sizes in the villages for any home is standard size. And almost every home uses the same window. You can upgrade them, I think, on the newer homes down the Finney area. See, I don't want to say that you have to take the same kind of windows I got. I think in Finney, if you're having a home built, custom home built, you can pick out window upgrades. Here, my home was already pre-built, so I bought it the way it was. And the house next to me has the same homes. The house on this side has the same home windows. House on this side over here has the same windows. The house behind me is a much more expensive house, and he has the same windows, basically the same size. The only difference is in the windows where mine is all, I'll say, blank glass. He has the little cross things inside the glass. That's the only difference that I see. So, it's that. Wind, you say you're concerned about the wind. Don't. All these homes in Florida are built to hurricane standards. In Indiana, they had a building code, that was for winter. That's why you end up with having a basement, or you had a crawl space, is because in the winter that crawl space maintains a temperature where the odds are your water pipes and things won't freeze in the winter time. Here it's basically all about heat, keeping the heat out and the cool in. So it's different, altogether different. So you won't have that much of a problem. I had gutters put all the way around my house to better control the water that runs off the roof. In the South, it's a South thing. Almost every home has no gutters, except on the entry points. Like right above your garage door, there'll be a gutter, or maybe right above your front door, there'll be a gutter, and that's it. There's no gutters around the house. And I'm saying that's fine, that's what they do in the South, but here with the sandy soil, I noticed that when the water runs off the house after a couple of months, you start seeing this groove where it's washing the water or the sand away. And even on my driveway, the concrete here doesn't seem to be near as hard as it is up north. It's like a soft concrete of some kind, that when the water runs off my roof, right there on the driveway, before I put the gutter all the way around, where the water would hit the driveway in the same spot over and over and over again when it rained, you could actually see a groove forming in the concrete where it was tearing the concrete away. So before I had my concrete driveway stained, I had all gutters put around the house because the price was more than reasonable. The companies that do these gutters now over a period of time has been raising their prices little by little. I think they're looking for that line in the sand. But as of right now, with the way the houses are being built around here, I don't think they're having any problem getting business. But anyway, make a long story short, I got gutters put completely around my house, gutters and all, for $400. I don't think you can do that anymore. The same guy that did mine, and don't ask me who it is because I'm not recommending that guy anymore. I think he's more than doubled his price now. And I just think they're taking advantage and they're gouging, and I'm just not into that. If a gas station during a hurricane raises their gas to $5 a gallon, all of a sudden that gas station comes up for gouging charges. And they take that serious down here. I mean, the government will come after you. I've seen them do it. I've read in the paper where they come after them for doing that. If all of a sudden there's a hurricane coming through and the grocery store raises the gallon of milk from, say, $1.95 to $5 a gallon, that's price gouging. But yet, let a guy put gutters around your house this year for $400, and the next year he raises it to $1,000. That's not price gouging? I don't know. I suppose he's got a right to do what he wants, but doesn't that gas station? I don't know. I just don't understand the fine line between the two. I just don't get it. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Whatever home you buy, you will be fine. Or you feel safe in a stick-built home, just get it. If you feel safer and sleep better at night buying a stucco home, get it. The only problems I do know with a stucco home that happens once in a great while is if the house settles in the sand, moves a little bit, that the block lines, you'll see a crack. and they have to come back and fix that. And I've seen that here, not a lot, but 2 or 3 homes has had that done. And then the stucco itself sometimes will crack. You got to have them come back and fix it. And every 5 or 10 years, I don't know what the deal is on that, but you got to have your house painted. It's because it fades. And if you don't get them gutters on the house, as the water rolls off your roof, it'll splash the dirt and the sand up on the side of your house. And after a couple of years of that, it starts to look bad. So you need to get your house washed every once in a while anyway. So with that being said, good luck with your search. Have fun. You'll enjoy it. And you'll enjoy your house. See you guys on the other side.